This funny little board is the CAPiTA Spring Break Slushy Slasher. Spring Break is the name of a project, a board shaping project started by a guy in America called Corey Smith. He's collaborated with CAPiTA and brought out a whole range of interesting shapes, of which this is the one designed, as the name implies, for spring riding. It's super wide at the nose, tapers down at the tail. You've got this rad little V shape, and in terms of profile, it's flat through the middle. You've got a quite aggressively scooped nose. It's almost folded like a piece of metal or something, and at the back just a little bit of scoop on the tail. Now it's April, we're in the Port du Soleil, there's so much slush, it was the perfect conditions to try this thing out. You immediately notice the lack of tail, so you're not going to probably be doing many technical tricks on this thing, although that said, you can boost this thing off side hits, you can do the odd 180, you can certainly butter around on it, and it feels awesome. Where it really comes into its own though, as you'd expect, is in the slush. You can straight line this down really chopped up faces that you have no right to straight line. It kind of flies over the crud like some kind of mad little magic carpet. And then when you do want to crank a turn, it really holds an edge quite nicely. The super setback stance on this also makes it great fun for slashing those little ridge lines you get at the edge of the piece, sending up some spray, preferably over a few skiers. In fact, that whole vibe, that kind of loose, slashy vibe, I think feels quite surfy. I've said that before, I'll admit, but in this case, it's genuinely true. I'd be tempted to call this thing the soup surfer. You know, when the mountain's been baked by the sun all day, everything's turned to sludge, this thing just floats right over it. With it only being a 147 as well, it turns on a dime. If you find yourself in those little snaky runs through the trees, like here at the Stash, it's perfect for that. You can crank it round banked corners, and then when you do come back onto the piste, if you pop off a little hit, that short length just means you can suck it up really easily and actually get quite a bit of airtime on this thing. The price is worth a mention. It's not that bad. This thing is about £320 in the UK, a similar amount in dollars in the States. This was one of the first models at this particular test that the two of us that were here really both wanted to try, so we ended up sharing it for the day. And that actually gave us the idea that it'd be a good way to go about getting one of these. Maybe you're not going to want to indulge in an extra quiver board just for spring riding, but if there's two, maybe three of you going on holiday in the spring, why not chuck down 100 each, get yourself the Slushy Slasher from CAPiTA.